Hey everybody, it's Robert Jones and I am back in the kitchen today. I got the chocolate colored shirt on because we're going to make some chocolate mousse cake. This is a special request going out to Daniel Chasers from Facebook. Thanks for the request. I hope you enjoy this recipe. It's going to be pretty good and it's going to be pretty easy. I did a lot of research for this one. I wanted to make sure that I was making something that a lot of people would have access to the ingredients and it would be tasty, of course. So, anyway, we're going to be doing a little something different today. I'm trying to combine the best of both worlds. I'm not a big Oreo cookie fan, but I found something good. Everybody likes graham crackers, and I found chocolate. Yes, chocolate graham crackers. So I'm going to be making a chocolate graham cracker crust for this. If you don't have chocolate graham crackers, you could probably just put in 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder and get the same result that I'm going to be doing here. So let's get to it. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Chocolate mousse cake. Hey guys, so we're going to start with the crust here. What we've got our chocolate graham crackers in a plastic bag, and then I've got butter here. This is a 1/4 cup of butter. I'm going to pop this in the microwave so it can just melt down real quick. Alright, we've got our melted butter. I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm just going to use a can of tomato soup. And I'm just going to crush, let's put that over there. I'm just going to crush these crackers. You could use a rolling pin. Alright, we got our crumbs here. So now I'm going to measure out 2 cups of these. Okay, so we got our crumbs and we got a scale here, and I'm just going to do this so that I know for the recipe for my European fans, how many grams are we dealing with here?
So we're just going to scoop out 2 cups.
So we got 175 grams of chunks in there. Then we're just going to add our butter. Butter, make sure you guys can see butter. And then we're just going to mix this around and make a crust. Okay, and since I was adapting that from an Oreo recipe, because I don't like Oreos, it needs more butter. I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm correcting the recipe here, and I'm putting another 1/4 cup of butter because that just wasn't enough, because I didn't use the stuffing from Oreos. There we go. This is going to look better. Oh, much better. Mix, mix, mix. Oh, smells good. Chocolatey. Okay. We're going to set our crumbs aside. I have here a 9-inch springform pan. If you guys have never used a springform pan, it is just a pan where it has a latch on the side and the bottom can come out. So you guys will see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of parchment. I just cut it the same size and plop it down in there. And then I have some strips to go around the side here. So that when our cake is done, it will just slide out. Okay, so we just dump the crumbs. Get it all. Then shift it around a bit. Do the best you can just to try to make it even. And then my secret weapon is to use a glass with a nice flat bottom and then crush it in. So try to make it as even as you can and level, and then press it together, because when we put this in the oven, the butter is going to adhere to all of this, and it's going to then bake and make a nice cookie crust.
So you want to really pack it down. Especially mine, I didn't quite make them super powdery crumbs.
Ta-da! Easy peasy. Alright, you can see that here. Now I'm going to try to get the crumbs down off the sides just so they're not in the mousse. And then we're going to pop this in the oven for 5 minutes. No, sorry, not 10 minutes, 5 minutes. 5 minutes in the oven, 350, 180, gas mark C. Alright, so we're going to put this in the oven and we'll see you back in 5 minutes. Alright, you guys, just out of the oven, we got our cookie base. It is cooked. It is a little bit crispier. That's good. And I'm just going to set this aside to cool because it's kind of hot. Okay, while our cookie base is cooling down, we're going to let it come to room temperature and then we're going to pop it in the fridge to get it even cooler, or maybe even the freezer. We're going to make the chocolate base for the chocolateness of the mousse. We're going to start with 12 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. That's this here. That's anything from 35% and up. You can do, if you're buying just a chocolate bar instead of chocolate chips, you can do that wherever you're from. Just chop them up into smaller pieces. We're going to then add a 1/4 cup of sugar. Check the recipe. I'm not sure how many grams that is. Then we're going to take 1 cup of cream. We've got some full fat, heavy cream here. This is a 30 to 36%. I believe this is a 36% if you're looking for the actual percentage. We're going to put this in the microwave and bring it to warm, kind of hot, but do not boil it. Let me repeat, do not boil it. You will get butterfat and milk. Is no bueno. So, okay, we've got our warm cream here. It is not boiled. It's probably about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're just going to pour it into the chocolate. And then you want to let it sit for a second. Let it sit, let it melt the butterfat and do all the goodies that it can do. And then you're going to start just gently stirring it. And you can see it's already starting to melt the chocolate. I'm also just going to add a couple pinches of salt just to help the flavor. And then just keep stirring it. There we go, it's loosening. Don't worry. Be patient. You can see it's getting there. Alright, you guys, if you can see, it is pretty darn smooth. That's what you want. You want it to be as smooth as possible because otherwise you're going to have chunks in your mousse and you don't want that. If it starts to seize up or if you see too many chunks, just pop it in the microwave if you're using a glass bowl, or if you are like me in the metal bowl, you can set it right on the stove for just a couple seconds. Don't heat it up too much. Okay, so this is done. Let me see if I can show you. It's nice and smooth. And we want to set this aside and let it come to room temperature because it's way too hot right now. Alright, you guys, we are over here at the fabulous stand mixer. And in the freezer, I have an ice chilled bowl. Just pop your bowl in the freezer when you start this process. And also a whisk. We'll put that in just a second. What we need for this is we need 1.5 cups of whipped cream. So we're going to use 1.5 cups of whipping cream and a teaspoon of just pure vanilla. I actually like the Costco kind. And then we're just going to whip the heck out of this. Seriously, that took like 1 minute real time. Not long at all. Do just a tiny bit more. Okay, now, if you're like me, I'm always ahead of the game here. This is done. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put this in the fridge just to sit for a few minutes while we wait for the ganache to come to room temperature. It's been about 20-25 minutes and I've let the chocolate cool. It's now cool to the touch. I put it in the fridge, but you can still see it's liquidish. That's what we want. We've also got our whipped cream. So next we're going to do this. We're going to take about 1/4 of the whipped cream and we're going to mix it into the chocolate. And the idea here is that it's going to lighten up the mixture and make it easier to fold into the whipped cream. So we're just going to stir this up. You don't have to be too careful with this. Just lightening it up, making it not so thick. And once that's thoroughly mixed, yeah, I can definitely tell it's easier to pour and everything else. We're then going to pour that into here. Okay, and now we're going to use the folding technique. So the way that this goes is you pull across and around, and across and around, and across and around. And I'm doing a little bit faster, but you get the idea. You don't want to stir it, you want to fold it. Just going to the bottom, get the cream and bring it up through the chocolate. Go to the bottom, bring it up. The idea is you want to try to keep as much of the air in as possible. Go at the speed that's natural for you. Remember, this is your project. You want to make it nice. And then I go around and get all the sides, make sure we're as consistent as possible and get all the goodness. And there we go. We have a nice chocolate mousse. Try to make sure we have no white whipped cream left in the very bottom there. I think it looks pretty darn good. Look at that. Look at that. Mmm. Looks good. I've got our crispy crunchy here, but before we do this, I have to take a little taste. I got to tell you what this tastes like. Mmm. Yeah. Okay. That's delicious. So we got our crust here. Now we're just going to carefully pour this in. Remember, we're trying to keep as much air as possible. Okay, now we're just going to smooth it around. Try to get all the big air pockets out, but try to keep it nice and smooth. And I'm just going to drop it a couple times. And then I have an offset spatula. I don't have an offset knife, so I'm just going to use this. And I'm just going to try to smooth it smooth. Make it smooth. Don't worry, this is not a necessary step. This is just my Virgoness. Okay, look at that. Mousse. Now you can see we have some tiny little flecks in here. Apparently I didn't get the chocolate exactly melted, but you know what? It's still going to taste amazing. And I don't think anybody's going to complain. And if you want, you can also call it chocolate chip ganache. Nobody will question that. Okay, we're going to pop this sucker in the oven. Yeah, we're going to pop this sucker in the oven. We're going to pop this in the fridge for about 2 hours and let it fully set. Alright, you guys, check it out. Chocolate mousse cake. Coming out of the freezer, not the freezer, out of the fridge after about 2.5 to 3 hours. Now I'm just going to unlatch the side over here, and boom, look at that, slides right off, easy peasy. And then I'm going to undo the sides like this. Give you guys a little look here, see if I can clean this up a little bit. Okay, what we have is the cake, about that thick, nice crust. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little bit of decoration. I have some grated chocolate here in a bag. This is a Van Leer chocolate, and I'm just going to smooth a little bit all over the top, just to give it some interest. Alrighty, and I have a lovely pedestal here. Now theoretically this is going to slide right off, so let me get a knife. Offset spatula here, and now in theory, since we have the paper under this, it's going to slide right off, right? Oh, look at that. Boom. Boom, ba-da-da-boom, boom. Look at that. Clean it up just a tiny bit. How nice does that look? Alright, let's give it a cut and have a little taste here. Because I know that's what you're waiting for. Oh, it's so nice and soft. Through the crunchy bottom. Oh, I can feel the crunch. And I'm just going to take a little wedge here. How nice does that look? Alright, you guys, I know this is the part you've been waiting for. Look. Chocolate mousse cake. Chocolate mousse cake. I'm just having a little piece, just a little piece. Have friends coming. But I wanted to try it for you guys, so check it out. Mmm. 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 Oh my god, that is amazing. Hope you guys enjoy this. Try it. Your friends will love it. Another bite from me. Can you hear the crunch? Crunch. Soft bits. Mmm. 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 Crunchy on the top, crunchy on the bottom. Try it. What else I have to say? Try this with the graham crackers. Because Oreos have a very distinct flavor and they overpower everything. This is good. Well, I think this is pretty darn delicious. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make this chocolate mousse cake, and we'll give it a try. I think it's pretty darn easy. Anybody can do it in their kitchen. Remember, if you don't have a power mixer like I do, you can use a whisk. It's just fine. It just takes a little bit longer. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. Let me know your results. You can chat with me on Facebook or G+, or on YouTube, or send me an email, or whatever you want. All the information is down below in the comments. Check it out. Love to get a thumbs up from you guys, and subscribe if you haven't already. Everything you do helps me to get higher ratings and to keep the show going. Also, check out the Etsy store. Got some swag there for you guys. And see you on Facebook. EudaemoniusMarkII, Mark II, MarkII. Thanks, you guys. Have a good one. Bye.